Hello and welcome to our podcast here at Elim Church in Swan. You're joining myself, Reverend Ben Cooper, and my good friend Steve, and we are looking at shadows of the beast. You know, we are living in really powerful times, really encouraging times, and also we could say quite dark times if we allow the fear and the worry to get hold of us. But there's always hope. The Word of God is telling us very clearly what to look out for, and we've got Steve with us this afternoon, as I said, as we just having a chat over a cup of coffee and just perusing through. Can you peruse through the book of Revelation, chapter 13, as we just have a look? But Steve is a really interesting guy. I know he probably duck under the table when I say this, but he's a really interesting guy to listen to. He's got so much knowledge. He listens, he reads, he studies. So when Steve speaks, I listen.
It's all cribs from someone else, mate.
It's all cribs from someone else, and I hope that someone else is Jesus. But no, it's great to have Steve with us, and we welcome you so much. So please share everything we do here in Elim Church. It's lovely that when you can just, I don't know about you guys listening, when you find someone that you can just really bat around conversations together with and just chew the fat over, so they say, and that's what I love about Steve. And he's taught me a lot already, and I've only been gathering together with him for quite about at least a year now, haven't we? Before 2 years, easy, isn't it? So I love listening to Steve. So without any further ado, here's my good friend Steve.
Right, hello there. We're talking. We're going to use our guiding scriptures from Revelation 13, and pick it up in verse 14 through to 18. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. And it causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666.
Wow, there we go. That's the book of Revelation. I've never really dived too much in the book of Revelations. I know we've spoken about it before, but I think it's just seasonal times. But now, as I've been listening to Steve a lot and following some of the stuff that he pushes my way, it's really interesting. I know that as pastors and leaders and whatever we think we are, whatever we may be, think we should be completely from Genesis to Revelations, know everything. It's absolutely impossible. So there comes a time, and I think this is my time, of starting to get to grips basically with the book of Revelation. I've got a basic overview of it, but the in-depth side of it is a bit over my head. But what's really interesting to me when Steve was reading that, I don't know about you guys, to me it makes it very clear through scripture that there will be a definite identification with the 666 and a clear identification with the branding. The way I see it is a mark, a clear mark on the skin.
I think the Greek is, I can't remember completely off the top of my head, but I think something to do with it, an impressed mark.
An impressed mark,
yeah. I think there's more to it than that, but that's what comes off the top of my head. It's like the bit where it says buy and sell. The term there in Greek is emporium, and you'll find that if you read the Greek, which I do often, sitting there doing.
Of course, you do.
The Septuagint, Ezekiel 28 and 18. It's talking there about Lucifer.
Yes, yeah.
And it says, in 15, you were perfect in your ways from the day you were created, till iniquity was found in you. By the abundance of your trading, you became filled with violence within, and you sinned. It's exactly the same word there, emporium. Now, I've never really understood the thrust of it completely, but this buying and selling thing is obviously very, very important. I don't know whether Satan was sort of saying to the other angels, look, you do this for me, I'll do it for you, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Yeah, I don't know. But,
we don't know.
Whatever. But
it's really interesting. It's very, very important. But you read out, when you was reading the scripture there, also that really stuck to my heart was about that without the mark, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't live. So But there's a bit of a forerunner with this vaccine malarkey that's going on, with everything you hear, like a forerunner of preparing the world.
That's it. That's what we're going through. We're going through. Satan has to work his plan out. He's not like God.
He can't do it off the cuff, bang, sorted, done.
No, I mean
it's a long, distant journey.
Yeah, I mean what we've got here is God telling us what the future's going to be, because he sees it, he knows it, and he knows exactly how he's going to guide it and what's going to happen. Yeah. But Satan, whilst he's very clever, there are certain indications in Scripture that he's not as au fait with a word for us for a start that a lot of people think he is. He is, but he's not. There are things there that indicate that he doesn't know everything by any stretch. And the outworking of his plan to remove Jesus, that was his. That's one of the reasons why I think John calls him Antichrist, because he if we go back again to Ezekiel, we go back to he says it's either the Ezekiel or the Isaiah 14 about sitting in the assembly, and the idea is that he will be equal with God. It's the idea that he wants to. It's not. He understands that he can't get rid of God the Father. Yeah. All right. But there's this demented aspect that if he can get rid of the Son, he can take his place. I mean, I've heard people talk about how it is that one of the reasons he goes for the church is if he can get the bride, he can get the throne. Okay. Yeah. We don't know how it bats around in his head, but that's part and parcel of it. And so what we have at the present moment, and what we've had, if we look over the past few thousand years, we've had indicators of Satan working his plan out. And I was listening to a guy the other day, and I've heard this taught several times, that Satan does not know God's timing.
That's interesting. He doesn't know the timing.
No, he doesn't know his time. So he's always got to have someone in the wings that he's preparing to take over the position of Antichrist. Right. I mean, we can go back to various people. If you have a look at some of the czars, some of them completely off the trolley. Yeah. But moving up to more recent history, we've got people like Napoleon wanting to rule the world. We've got even the Tsar during the First World War. Then we go into Hitler, of course. Absolutely critical illustration of what the beast will be like, or the beast will be like. And so it's looking at all these, but never before, with all of these preparations, never before was Israel in the land. Israel is now in the land. So
it's in position.
It's in position. So everything, once 1948 happened, the clock started ticking again.
Hear honest conversations about anti-Semitism, new generations reshaping their connection to Jewish identity, and first-hand stories of how our community is supporting Israel. Subscribe to Mosaic, Exploring Jewish Issues on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Or watch Mosaic at jewishpb.org.
God's prophetic clock started ticking again. And what we see, the changes so very rapidly in things over the past 20, 30 years. When I was a child, things moved quite slowly. Yeah. But for me, one of the real indicators of how quick things can change was South Africa, when suddenly Mandela was released, and suddenly the whole thing was turned over. Suddenly we had Mandela in power. It happened almost overnight. And if we look at these things, there's this rapid turnover of events.
That's how I feel about the event of this pandemic. The way the control has been so quick, and putting the barriers up, getting the literature ready, everything has just been so fast, like a blink of an eye. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this big rolling rod of iron has come in, but almost in a very crafty way. It's almost if it feels like it was pre-planned, that all the screens were sitting on a shelf ready, the vaccine was already pre-done, the stickers, the signposts, it was all pre-done. The way it came out, everything was manufactured, everything was done quick, so fast, and before you know it, we've got this. Oh, hang on a moment.
Yeah, without sort of going too far into preparation that man makes. Satan uses man. If we look at people like, say, George Soros and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and these people, who are seminal figures who have tremendous influence, so much so that I understand dear old Boris Johnson got in touch with Bill Gates the other week and had a good old chat with him about the virus. And why you want to chat to Bill Gates? He's not an epidemiologist. But there we go. So you've got to wonder, how much of the people that are ruling us are being influenced, yeah. But if we look at all these people, this idea that there has to be a change has been there for a long, long time. Going back probably 30 or 40 years, there's been this understanding that the world's economies were getting deeper and deeper into debt. And so there was this view within various people. The World Economic Forum comes to mind because of, I'll touch on what Schwab was, the bloke that founded it, Schwab, he's written a book. I'll touch on it later, but you had the not Breitbart, you had the Club of Rome and all these influential people. They understood that things were not going the way it should, that mankind was not going in the direction that they felt he should go, and that there should be greater controls. And all these things have taken a long, long time to come together. Yeah. This scenario that we have now with this COVID-19 has been the launching pad for so many of these things.
It has. You can see it, can't you?
And you've got people like Schwab, who founded the World Economic Forum, and he, along with another chap whose name I can't remember, which I should, he's written a book called COVID-19, The Great Reset. Oh. Now this term reset has been coming up in Christian circles for a long time. Yeah. And everybody's been going, oh, no, you're all conspiracy theorists. And then Trudeau dropped the ball the other week when he came out and announced about the reset. And the BBC and various other outlets have been running around going, there's no conspiracy. This reset that everybody's been talking about, this is a different reset. We're not talking about that reset. Whereas the truth of the matter is that basically what it is at the end of the day is that it's socialism spelt in capital letters. It's the removal of
complete freedom,
individuality. Yeah. If I make a pig's breakfast of my life, that's not somebody else's problem. No. But today it's got to the point whereas I should take on that chap's problem. Yes. I'm responsible for what he's done.
I'm responsible for fellow human beings.
Yeah, we are to some degree, obviously.
To a degree.
But if someone makes a pig's breakfast of their life, investments and all this, that and the other, so what you want everybody else to bail them out. The great part about all these people with all the tons of money, I don't see them giving it away to help all these people. They've got all their pressure groups. I mean, look at Black Lives Matter. Apparently, they've had tens of millions of dollars given to them, and yet there's not one black child been sent to university, not one black company been raised up, not one black person has got a new house. So where's all that dough gone about Black Lives Matter?
Where's it gone? Yeah. We see that time and time again. Yeah. History tells us, doesn't it? The fat cats get fatter, and it lines their own pockets.
And so all of these things are the shadow. And if we come down to the vaccine, dear old Boris came out the other day and said, we're not going to force people to take the vaccine. That's not the English way of doing it. Then Qantas have come out and said, you're not going to be able to fly unless you've got a certificate. All right. And Neil Basu, who is the counter-terrorism head in Scotland Yard, about 4 or 5 days ago came out with this statement that he feels that there needs to be a nationwide debate on the introduction of new laws to punish people who spread anti-vaccine conspiracy theories. Right?
What?
Now,
Sorry for laughing, but this is getting ridiculous.
right, but the thing that intrigued me about
What
this,
is
right,
this?
a policeman telling us how we should have a nationwide discussion about laws
Yeah.
when he's supposed to enforce them, not write them.
Yeah.
And the guy that kicks it off is a counter-terrorist head. Now, I made a mention some time ago on a couple of the sites that I look at. They were talking about terrorism on there. And I made this statement that if I refuse to take a vaccine,
Yeah.
will I be called a health terrorist? Because
Interesting.
well, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about the conspiracies. The trouble is with someone like Bill Gates, he puts his big fat nose in it, and he doesn't know what he's talking about other than the people that are feeding him the information. But everybody goes to Bill Gates. Oh well, he's the mind of all information. So we got Gates telling everybody you should have a vaccine, and bearing in mind that this is the guy that wanted to cut down human population because we've got far too many people on the planet. So now,
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you with my life.
Yeah.
And then you got Zuckerberg from Facebook, who says, "Well, you can't talk about these things. If you say these things, I'm going to flag your post.
Yeah.
If you're talking about COVID, and we're going to fact check it. What are you going to fact check it with?
Yeah.
Well, with people that we know that are good. No,
hang
you
on a
mean
minute.
the people that you agree with?
Yeah.
You know.
Influencers.
Yeah.
Money
So-
influencers.
Why is it then I can't make a statement that I don't believe in these vaccines that are being pushed through by a company called Pfizer? If we look at their history of being swamped by people suing them because of the way their vaccines in the past
As affected.
affected people.
Yeah.
So now they're telling me, no, everything's going to be
It's
okay.
okay, don't
well,
worry.
it wasn't
It's
okay
okay.
then, and you couldn't figure it out
Why
after
is
years
it
of working
okay
it
now?
out. Now you want me to think that it's okay after you've had about 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, when I look at this, it's like the biggest drug deal going down around the world.
Yeah.
It's the biggest
Yeah, big
money
farm,
maker.
yeah, big pharma rubbing their hands together.
It is just making untold amount of money to the powers that be.
Yeah.
And I can see almost riots springing up, whether you're a believer or non-believer, because I know people on both sides of this that go, I'm not having that vaccine. I'm not having it. Even believers, non-believers, I'm not having it. Not so much Christians, because they're knowing that it's control.
Yes.
And you're controlling me. You're going to let me buy food if I've got it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you hear some of the powers that be saying, we're not sure if we're going to bring it in, but we might bring it in. And then you go down a road of, right, okay, if I think about this, that if I don't have it, is it, well, you just said it, an airline company, that if they make a statement like that, they're all going to make statements like that.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have this issue where I ain't having that, so I won't be able to leave the UK. I won't be able to travel. Will that affect my pension?
Well, it's not only that, but it will come down to the point you won't be able to go to the pub unless you have a vaccine
Exactly, and then
and show it.
Yeah.
You're not going to go and be able to stay at Butlins unless you show it. You're not going to be able to go and have a wander in the countryside
Unless you show it.
And whilst the vaccine, and I've got to make this point, is not the mark of the beast.
No, it's not the mark.
It is a dry run
Yes.
on how he can shoehorn people
Yes.
into a place.
Because if this works and they do get people to forcibly have this, it's controlling the masses, as we know.
Yep.
And it's right, we've got them once, we can do it again.
Yeah.
Lockdown after lockdown after lockdown.
Yeah, if we've only got to look at the way China are treating their citizens to understand what will happen for us. You can't move out of a certain area without a passport.
Yeah.
And this is echoed in during the Soviet era in Russia. You couldn't move from one place to another unless you had an internal passport. And it's going to get like... if this follows through the way it seems, it might do, that's the way it's going to be.
Because it's not cast in stone, it's always, we're hearing it. Are they getting us ready for it? Or will the population be so strong enough to stand up and go no, and they can't, because you can't put everyone in prison. You can't put 50%.
No, you can't. But this is why I say if we concentrate on what the shall we say as we said, the shadow of the beast, he's working it out. He's tweaking
right.
it. He's looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, if I try to do this, that's going to happen. We'll try this. Oh, that's going to happen. And he works it out and works it out. Now, the term in there, it says he causes people to take the mark. The Greek there is he makes people take the mark.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean that he will put a gun to your head and say take it, but he will come down to what we're
just talking about.
Yeah,
the squeeze on your freedom.
Yeah, and the only way seriously that anybody's going to be able to resist that mark is in the power of God.
It's the only way.
It's the only way, because no matter how bloody-minded you are, and I'm going to resist it and I'm not going to take it.
Definitely.
You've got to understand that there comes a point here where you're going to lose your life. If you,
because that's where it comes, that fact, that's there.
Yeah, and it's the thing about it is that also what we've got to understand, it's all very well that I can say I don't mind losing my life, but if someone comes along and says I'm going to kill your kids,
then you go to another level.
Then you go to another level
and
of
another
pressure.
Understanding pressure.
Yeah, and so for Christians to be able to stand in that, the only way we're going to be able to stand in it is in the power of God. You're
can't do
not going to be able to do it any other way.
But we see, when you see, you're talking about the persecuted church just briefly there, and you said about China and other places that you think of with the persecution, they are really being squeezed. And the only way they are seeing victory is the power of God. Like you're talking about, God will strengthen us, you, me, whoever we are, when we are really being squeezed, it can only be God that will give us the peace, the understanding, and the stability to be able to go through whatever we've got to go through.
Yes.
Even if that is to death.
Yeah, we have to understand. We've got to take Peter as an illustration here. When Jesus said, "I'm going to go up to Jerusalem, and everybody's going to abandon me," and so on, and Peter said, "Oh, I won't do it. I'm not going to do that."
No way, Lord.
As a Christian, no matter how strong you are,
agreed,
the pressures that can be brought upon you, by Satan, are going to be so great, that you've got to be careful.
You don't wobble.
Yeah, and you can only not wobble when you're in the power. When the power of God's within you.
Exactly.
And it's I can stand by the grace of God and by the grace of God alone. If we think we can do it by self-determination,
you can't do it. No. You can't do that. Self-determination. It has to be a God move upon you to strengthen you.
Yes.
Because you will wobble. It's a simple thing of like going into certain coffee houses at the moment. The trouble I had in Blue Water, just trying to part with £2.50, they would not accept the cash. It had to be a card. I had to use the QR, and I just said, keep your coffee, be blessed. Do you know what I mean? So that frustrated me that I had to walk away from a coffee. It sounds a little bit silly to talk about it, but I suddenly realised, you know what? It won't be long before every purchase could be like this.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Very simply. And also by putting the barriers up, as time goes by and the barriers get stronger, because people will suddenly fly off the handle, they will make them barriers almost bulletproof, so you can't get to that product.
No.
So you can see, can't you, how the infrastructure and everything, even going into Apple Store in Blue Water, there was a lot of work just to get in there. I had a screen broken on my phone. Mm-hmm. And to get in there was to book an appointment, queue up, stand on the dot, sir. Yeah. Don't move. And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to go to hell if I move off the dot. God help me, please, Jesus. And then they're doing your temperature, then you sign this, you sign that. And I think, I only wanted to ask a question.
Yep.
Got in 2 minutes. It took me an hour and a half to get in the store, and a 5-10 minute question.
Yep.
And it's like military. Mm-hmm. And what was also quite eerie about it, everyone was silent. It was like, I don't even want to speak. I can't. There's no chit chat anymore. There's no. How are you? You all right? It's just like he's told me to do that. I'm going to do it. Move. Should move.
Yeah.
Then you go to the banks. You know, I queued outside the Barclays, and it was baffling me that. Right, okay, you can't come in this store until that person comes out. And then when that person comes out, you can almost hear the boots moving together. Everyone moves forward together.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like a military style move. Up we go, move!
That's it. And so you're in these simple things, you are destroying the individual.
Yeah. You are.
You have to, you're becoming regimented.
And I felt very strange.
Yeah.
Simply in a coffee house, in a bank, in the Apple store, and just generally going around. But the supermarkets, there seems to be it's a different thing. You go to Barclays and you've got do not move. Go to one of the superstores, you can lean over each other, bump into each other, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I've just come out of a regime, and now
don't make any sense.
This store don't make any sense.
No, and I mean, I don't understand the business about shutting down clothing stores. That's beyond my understanding, that, you know. Because when I opened them up last time anyway, they said, well, you can't try it on, so you've got to take it home and try it on. What the difference is beyond me, but there we go. Obviously, you can't catch the virus at home.
It starts to get really...
It's farcical. It's farcical. But we're being built up.
We're being programmed.
Yeah, we're being programmed for a socialist world.
Yeah.
That is run by the elites.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with the final elite, that's going to be your hopping pot. You're going to die.
Yes.
You're going to die.
That's what it comes down to.
As I say,
down the tracks.
From a Christian's point of view, that's no big deal. We have to look at the other pressures that are going to come when somebody says, right, well, I'm going to kill your kids, so I'm going to kill your wife.
Now, that's the different level altogether, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you start seeing, and we've seen it, we've heard it, we read about it in different parts of the world of the persecuted church, and you think, oh my God, how do they make it? But as you said, the power of God, it's the only way to do that.
Yeah.
But this is very clearly an eye-opener to see what is coming.
Yeah.
What is coming?
We did a chat the other week about the Barna Group from the Christian University of Arizona, where we basically looked at it and the figures that George Barna had issued with the various questions. It was reckoned that only 25% of people who say that they're Christian in America really are Christian. Well, they brought out another one, and talking to people again in America, how many Christians have either gone to church during this lockdown or have attended a digital service or had a part of the worship service and so on and so forth. And over 50% said that they hadn't
no engagement at all.
There was no engagement. And again, what is critical about this time for us as Christians, really, now is the time to build that relationship with God. How real is your faith?
Yes.
Is it based upon
personal?
You're going to church and seeing your pals?
Yeah.
Which, let me say, that it is absolutely essential as Christians that we gather together. I think
Most
part
definitely.
and parcel of what's happening at the moment is, on the one hand, Satan is trying to stop us from gathering. God is using it to question whether or not we seriously desire Him or not, and will we seek Him during this time. So you've got these two aspects working, but God working His own purpose out through this. That in this particular moment, it's. I mean, we've spoken about this several times. That it's critical that right now Christians know who their God is.
Exactly.
It's absolutely critical.
Like never before.
Because the beast could could rise up within months.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah, very
By spring. You could spring, summer. Because the platform, the stage is set, isn't it?
Yes, very much
The world is set.
The world is
We're
set.
not talking about one country. We are talking about the full globe.
Yep.
The globe is set, ready for this Antichrist to rise up.
Yeah, and the strange part about it is that there's an Indian site that I go on, and they're having the same trouble with their mainstream media.
Yeah.
That follow a particular narrative.
Yeah.
That do not report things that they should report, but report things rather that supports a particular government position. And it's much the same as the stuff that you get out of the BBC. I mean, British Broadcasting Corporation should change its name to Not British Broadcasting. I mean, at the moment they're making they're crying their eyes out about the poor French fishermen. Yeah. Now, they couldn't give a tuppenny toss about our fishermen all the years when they were coming out and taking all our fish. Yeah. But now we're going to get our fish back. Well, what about the poor French fishermen? Well, what about the poor British fishermen that you couldn't give a damn about for the past 40 years?
Yeah.
And so the whole thing is, it's there's this strange paradox. Jesus talks in Matthew 24 about nation rising against nation, and he uses a term there, ethnos against ethnos. So that's an ethnic group against an ethnic group. And you're seeing this with things like BLM and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there is this strange paradox where your nationality is being reduced so that you become a global person.
A global...
You're not an Englishman, you're not an Irishman,
no,
you're not a Frenchman.
You belong to
You're a part of the global family.
Yeah.
All right? And you've got a responsibility to the global family. I mean, you've even got people like the Archbishop of Canterbury sticking his big fat nose in and talking about it. He said to Boris Johnson, you shouldn't cut foreign aid. Well, why do we keep putting money into the hands of an Indian government that's got more than enough money to send rockets up into space?
Yeah. When the NHS is stretched beyond...
Well, precisely. So at the end of the day, you get someone like the Archbishop of Canterbury, and all he's pushing out is an over-realised parable of the Good Samaritan. I am my brother's keeper, and I should denude myself of everything so that he can get back on his feet. I'm not going to get into what the parable of the Good Samaritan is about.
We won't go down that road.
But the thing is that you've got all these... I mean, you've got the Pope now. Good old Pope. He's been wanting a socialist set up for ages. And he wants to bring all religions under
everything together, one umbrella.
Yeah, and we should follow this route, and we should give up all our personal wealth and all this, that, and the other. But I don't see the Vatican.
Hang on a moment.
I don't see the Vatican stripping all their altars somewhere along the line.
Yeah. So they're worth a few quid.
Well, that's it. So I mean, it's all very well saying to people,
This is what you should do, and then you're living in palaces and castles and everything like that, and you've just got so much money and servants around you. Well, you're so far removed from the real life.
Yeah, but this is exactly what people like Stalin did and Hitler did and all that. They lived in a world of opulence, whilst they told their people, you must suffer for the cause. While the Germans were drinking Erzsach's coffee and eating Erzsach's sausage, Hitler was still quaffing it, and so was Goering. I mean, and what was it? I can't remember. It was either Stalin or it might have been Lenin. I can't remember. And they talked about the people that followed them and supported their view, and they called them useful idiots. So, I mean, basically, that's it. You're useful idiots. You just get me what I want.
You just do as I do.
Yeah. Well, no, you'll do what I tell you.
You'll do what I tell you to. You'll do exactly what I tell you.
I'll get what I want, whilst I lie to you and tell you you'll get what you want.
Exactly. We are living in very powerful times.
Yeah, and so this idea of what we're looking at the moment. I mean, going back to that business about the terrorist, anti-terrorist head. When I read that, I've understood and watched the way the police force has become more and more political, or being used as a political force. When a senior officer within the Metropolitan Police counter-terrorism, starts talking about persecuting people who don't agree with the received wisdom, saying that they should be prosecuted, suddenly I am seeing a political police force growing up very rapidly in this country. Something we've never had before.
No, we've never had it. It is accelerating.
Oh, yeah.
It's all accelerating, all the different departments.
So these are the shadows that you've got to look at.
So that's what we're looking at, is the shadows, the forerunners of the Antichrist. As I've said it, and you can see it very clearly, the platform is prepared. And it could be just weeks, months, a year, 2 years, who knows?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows the times. But one thing is for sure is that you can see this rolling out. It's when I heard about when China was locking down, I thought, do you know what, that'll never happen over here. Then all of a sudden, before you know it, lock, around the world, lock. It's incredible, really, to see how we lock down so quick. I thought this would never happen to London, never happen to the UK. The churches will never be shut. The coffee houses for sure, the pubs, all them never shut. Suddenly, bang, lockdown.
Well, I found something out today which I never knew. The World Health Organization changed, and I didn't know this. The World Health Organization is not run by medical people; it's run by political people.
Yes.
So it's a political movement.
It's a movement,
all right? And a few years ago, they changed the definition of a pandemic. Okay, so if we go back a few years and we think about the SARS virus that came out, which COVID is part and parcel of that, and the various flus, the bird flus, and all this, that, and the other, and there was more people having that, and so on and so forth. The pandemic was not declared because the way they were going to declare a pandemic in those days, they couldn't do it. They didn't have grounds to do it. So they changed the meaning of the word, well, not changed the meaning of the word pandemic, but they changed their ability to apply the term to whatever they wanted.
Right. Okay.
And if we seriously look at what we've got at the present moment, we have got a Prime Minister who doesn't know the difference between whether or not a false positive or asymptomatic or anything, that he seems to stumble over one thing after another, saying that we're all in this together, and it's we're like the war and so on and so forth. The man had COVID, according to the news a few months ago. He had COVID-19. So by biological outworkings, he would have had enough antibodies within himself not to get it again. But then they say he meets up with someone who's got it, so he has to be locked down. Well, I don't understand that.
No.
Because as far as I'm concerned, he can't get it again, all right? But they're telling us that when we get these vaccines, the first one might not work. We might have to have a second one. Because the antibodies don't work. So, after a minute, so you're going to give me antibodies from a virus that you want to protect me against, and you're saying that your antibodies will work after the second or third time, but the antibodies that I've got within me when I got the full-fledged virus are no good. And so you get this doublespeak.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You get this doublespeak.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you've had the virus, terrific, you should be all right.
You'll be fine.
A few weeks down the road, no, you might not be all right. So you're still going to have the injection.
It's changing like the wind.
And it's changing. And
it's changing.
Why?
The information is changing
over and over again.
Over and over and over again.
So
and you start to scratch your head.
Whether or not the virus or the vaccine is going to work or not is neither here nor there. The simple fact of the matter is that because they keep changing the way they are talking, it tells you that it's doublespeak. They're lying. They're telling lies.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not Mr. Basu likes this or not, the simple fact is that the people that put out the information, because they end up lying about what they said before, people do look at it and say, there's a conspiracy here, isn't there?
That's right, yeah.
They're trying to push a particular...
They're trying to push
agenda.
us a certain way. There's a different agenda.
Yeah, there's an agenda that they're trying to push.
Yeah. Because there's too much information that's against each other.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, you mean, all right, you can be a conspiracy theorist and wear a tinfoil hat. That's it, up to you. But if you're going to base it upon arguments that are out there in the public,
yes.
and if you're going to base it on empirical knowledge of the understanding of vaccines and how they work and what they do, and then this guy turns up and says, well, we're going to give you the vaccine, but we don't know if it's going to work. Oh, yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's... And you think, nah, there's something going on.
There's something more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
And as I say, someone like Pfizer that have had loads of lawsuits against them in the past, I'm now supposed to believe that after they worked years on vaccines that caused them to spend out millions and millions of pounds on lawsuits, you're going to tell me that vaccine is now safe because you've been working on it for 6 months because you say it's safe? It's confusion. I don't think so, pal.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
The issue is now is who do we believe? And that's it. You hear this in this corner, that in the centre, and that to that side.
Well, even I was reading a Lancet this week. A thing in there was talking about, you're not going to be. We will never return to what was known as normal.
Never
return to what was known as normal, and we are unsure of the effectiveness of these vaccines that are being trotted out.
Very unsure.
We are unsure of the safety
of the vaccines.
And unless we have an understanding of how safe these things are, people will reject them. And it's no use saying, oh yeah, well, Fred Bloggs at the top of Pfizer said it's okay. I don't think so. Mr. Gates said it's okay.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, what? All right, he's got billions of pounds and I've got 3 bob, but he's no better than I am.
No, that's correct. Yeah. Life is still life.
You know, he's a terrific businessman. He made more money than I ever know in my life. But hey, he's no more of a specialist. And I've listened to specialists. I've listened to a lot of Christian doctors, and they're all saying the same thing. Watch out. Watch out.
Watch out. They spend years and years researching all types of drugs, and then suddenly the vaccine, we've got it, it's done. Here it is, have it. Yeah. Take it.
I mean, Oxford University has said that their vaccine is 70% effective.
70%.
What does that mean?
What's that? 70%.
When I had a smallpox jab, it was 100%. I've never had smallpox inside it when I was a little boy.
Dang, exactly.
I had polio jabs. I've never had polio.
Then go.
It was 100%.
100%. Finished. Sorted.
So I'm going to trust your 70%.
No, hang on a moment. No,
because you're not telling me. You're not telling me what the other bits and pieces are. I'm going to get with it.
See, the thing is, there's always something else running alongside of it. Yeah. There's stuff behind the curtain that we won't never know. No. And there's stuff leaking out. Yeah, there's stuff coming out.
I mean, there are various Christian groups out there that are saying that the vaccine is the mark of the beast. It is not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is very, very clear. It's tied up with the worship of the Antichrist.
Yeah.
It is tied up with the whole of life itself. Okay, the shadow that we see, but no one is being worshipped at the moment. There's no one single figure that's being raised up as this is the one that we should follow. And the other thing about this, and people make a lot about 666, one of the reasons, and there's several, but one of the reasons that's put in there like that is to warn people that this Antichrist is not God.
Not God.
Okay? 666, the mark is of a man.
Yeah.
Not God. Because when he gets raised up, people are going to say, who is like the beast?
Yeah.
This man is God. I mean, it says it in the word that he will go into the temple and declare himself above all that is God. And there's no one doing that at the moment.
No one.
Apart from the fact the temple hasn't been built yet.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So there are still
That's another
things.
issue.
That's another issue. So that could be built very, very quickly as well.
Very quickly.
So there are all these things that are going on.
But there is you can actually start to see that this is quickening it.
Very much
That's
so.
what
Yeah,
this
yeah.
vaccine's doing.
Yeah.
That's what this pandemic is doing,
Yeah.
whatever label we want to call it. You can see that there is a pattern, whether they're going to go, you're going to have it or not. That's just still up in the air. But what it is doing, it is just making a show that the squeeze on your human rights
As an individual.
is going to change very rapidly.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Whether the world goes, you're having the vaccine or not. You've even got the airlines going, well, you can't travel with us. Then it'll be the trains, and then it'll be this. But that's all hearsay, but what it does, it puts fear in people.
Yes.
And you can hear people now going, I'm having the vaccine. I'm having it anyway. I don't care. I've heard people say that already. And I say, well, what's in it? I ain't bothered. I'm just having it.
Yep.
Because I want to travel. I think, hang on a moment.
Yep.
Don't you think you need to really question things and look at things? But it to me, over the last number of months, it's made me realise how small the world is. It's shrunk.
Oh, yeah.
It's all of a sudden I thought, do you know what? It just seems everything seems so close all around the globe. Everything there's a pattern. All the nation is following the same sort of thing. There's unrest everywhere. There's fear everywhere. There's doubt, but there's hope, and God is moving very powerfully. But what was interesting when you read out about that really struck me was the ability or not the ability to be able to buy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we got now as a forerunner.
Yes.
It could fall flat on its face. But it's a forerunner.
It's a forerunner, without
It's
a
a
doubt.
forerunner.
Yes.
And then if this one falls, there'll be another one in the wings waiting to come.
This is what I say, that Satan's
There's a
tweaking his
pattern.
plan.
There's a pattern.
He's tweaking his plan. He's
Yeah.
seeing how it's going. What
Yeah.
have I got to do next time? How have I got to move the next piece on the chessboard to get me to where I want to go?
Yeah.
And what do I do, and how do I do it? You know, how do I make sure that people who in England have been assured by their Prime Minister that it's not the English thing that we do by forcing people to take the vaccination, what must I move forward to make sure that they do take the vaccine?
So how many people we got in this nation? Is it 67?
63, 65 million, something like that.
So, right, okay. So if they say everyone has got to have this, that could never happen. If you said that half the people have that, and then you said let's go 3/4 of the nation that go, I'll have it. So we would have millions of people that won't have it. Where are they going to put us?
Well, the problem they've got...
That'd be a big prison.
Yeah, but it's not just that, Ben. The problem they've got at the moment, the logistic problem they've got at the moment, they can't produce enough vaccine.
And that's... So you've got to look at this in a logical way as well.
If you look at it globally, right, you've got 7 billion people.
Yes.
You cannot produce enough vaccine for 7 billion people. All right?
So that can give you some rest to understand that X amount of people are going to say no.
Yes.
So where are they going to put the people? What they're going to do with the people, especially in the UK. So you have to think logically as well and go, do you know what? This could be scaremongering.
Now, logical thinking is going out the window at the moment.
At the moment it is, but I'm just trying to get a bit of an handle on it.
No, you're quite right.
What are you going to do with, say, 10 million people that go no in the UK? That's a big prison.
It is.
That is a lot of people that will still rise up and still... So, as you said...
you will get a groundswell of unrest.
Yeah, there's some ripples being made. You can see that there will be some things really kicking off. But as you said, how many people in the world globally?
7 billion people, and it's growing. It's this is it's one of the reasons why dear Mr. Gates wanted to cut down. There's far too many people on the earth. Let's get shot of a few.
That's a lot of vaccine.
So, well, this is it.
That's a lot of juice.
7 billion. And, I mean, they made a big thing about the fact that Boris has bought 5 million shots.
5 million?
That's not even London.
That's not even London.
That's probably half the population of London.
Yeah, it's not even... Yeah, it's not a lot, is it?
No.
It's not a lot.
This is the thing, they make a big hoo-ha about it and bang the drum, this, that and the other. But seriously, at the end of the day, you've got 5 million... to try to replicate that...
Over and over.
And then you've got to figure out, well, there are some people that we can't give it to.
For medical reasons.
For medical reasons, we can't give it to. So these are all the things that Satan's got to tweak. These are all the things that he's got to think about. These are all the things that he's got to bring about. So he's got to change, for instance, he's got to try to bring in a political system
Yeah.
and a political grouping the way they have in China. He's
Yeah.
got to get that into the West. He's doing it. It's coming about. There's no two
We
ways
can
about
see
it.
that.
What's happening in America with Joe Biden is part and parcel of it. And you are seeing this over. He's
There's a
looking
pattern
at,
that's forming.
he's looking at nations around the world, and he knows that he has to replicate what's going on in China
Yeah.
across the whole of the globe. Now, to some degree, Australia have already fallen into place. America will fall into place. Great Britain, at the moment, not so much.
No, that's right. Not so much.
I don't know about South Africa. I'm not sure what's going on in South Africa. There's an absolute turmoil in that country anyway.
Yeah.
But the simple fact is that there are things that have to be changed, tweaked. As I say, he's got to figure out which chess man to move on the chessboard to move himself forward.
Yes.
This time for us as Christians, it's absolutely critical that we meet with God in prayer, because whilst we may not have an opportunity now for service, once there comes a point where we are able to talk with people, we must be in a position, much the same as Peter was when as Jesus said, when you are converted, strengthen your brothers. That we have to be brought to a place by God that we can be used by him to glorify him in spreading the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ.
That's the key.
That's what we're going through at the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's going to come a point where we will have an opportunity to speak about the hope of Christ.
You can see that coming.
Yes, because there's certainly no hope in this world.
There's no hope in this world whatsoever. Steve, it's been absolutely fascinating. I can just sit here and listen and just, I thank God for your life and the input and what you listen to, what you study and everything. We thank God for you, and we pray for you, and we're just blessed to listen to you. It's a great opportunity for me just to be still and be quiet for a change, and just to listen, and it's really important. And if you need Steve, all the listeners out there, if anyone wants to get any more information of what's said and done here in Elim Church, we're easy to find. You can find us on the good old internet and all over the place. So please share everything you hear through the podcast, through Two Blokes and a Bible that go out on Friday. But we just pray that you just seek God. That is the key.
That's right.
Is the most important thing anyone can ever do. Seek God. Stay safe, stay under the blood of Christ, and have a great afternoon. Wherever you are in the world, follow Jesus.
God bless you.
God bless. Bye-bye.